The 2000s decade where the music maintained electro influences and catchy dances became mainstream. The sweetness of food and the lives of teenagers became mainstream where the internet took over and the short-term trends in clothing became evident in music videos, movies, and TV shows, where childhood fads remained in childhood fads into 2000s. The decade illustrated the events occurring in pop culture. Vermont passes the legalization of civil unions for the same-sex marriages. September 11, 2001, 19 hijackers took control of 4 U.S. commercial airplanes. They crashed 2 airplanes into the World Trade Center, one into each of the 2 tallest towers. The third plane was crashed into the U.S. Department of Defense headquarters, otherwise known as the Pentagon. The fourth crashed into a field. George Bush creates the Department of Homeland Security on June 7th.
During the 2000s, there were many events that took place, 2 of which I'm going to be telling you about today. In 2005, on July 7, London was hit by 4 suicide bombers, killing 53 innocent people. Our minute-by-minute timeline shows how the disaster unfolded, and our interactive map details where the bombers struck. Also in 2004, CBS uncovered systematic torture of Iraq prisoners at the Abu Ghraib prison.
In October of 2006, Google bought the popular video sharing website YouTube for $1.65 billion in stock. In 2007, one of the largest and deadliest fires in U.S. history rages in Southern California, fanned by the Santa Ana winds, destroying 400,000 arcs and 2,000 homes.
In 2008, a lone gunman, Steve Kazmarzyk, opened fire at a university, killing 5 and injuring 21 people before committing suicide. In 2009, the king of pop, Michael Jackson, he was the most successful entertainer of his time. The first iPhone came out in 2007 with 6.1 units sold, making it one of the best phones to come out. During this time, social media was starting to rise up, with Facebook being a big one. It was initially started for only Harvard students, but gradually made its way to the use of everyone. The PlayStation 2 was announced in 1999, but it was released in 2000. It became one of the best-selling video consoles of all time, selling over 155 million units.
From the 2000s were moon shoes. Moon shoes were shoes for children that were fitted with trampoline strings. They were basically built as mini trampolines for your feet. They were made to fit over the wearer's regular shoes, much in the same way as clamp on roller skates. One familiar company that helped feature these shoes at the time was Nickelodeon. They featured closed sides, plastic construction, and bungee-style springs, which were considered safety improvements in 2000s. Another big thing from the 2000s were Heelys. Heelys were formerly known as Sling Sports Limited, which was a brand of roller shoes that have 1 or more removable wheels. They allow the wearers to walk, run, or shift their weight to their heels. One of the ways that braking was achieved was by lowering the back of the foot so that outsole of the shoe would touch the ground.
Linkin Park formed in 1996 and gained fame when Hybrid Theory debuted in 2000. In 2003, MTV declared Linkin Park the 6th greatest band of the music video era and the 3rd best of the new millennium. Ranked 19th on the Best Artist of the Decade chart, sold more than 70 million records worldwide, and won 2 Grammy Awards. Backstreet Boys, formed in 1993, gained fame when their debuted album Backstreet Boys came out in 1996. After a 2-year hiatus, they regrouped and released a comeback album, Never Gone, in 2005. Sold over 100 million records worldwide, which made them the best-selling boy band of all time. Destiny's Child, formed in 1997, who started with the name of Girls' Time until they were signed under the name Destiny's Child. The group was plagued with internal conflict and legal turmoil. In 2002, they were on a hiatus and reunited 2 years later for their 4th and final album, Destiny's Fulfilled, in 2004. Sold more than 60 million records worldwide. Billboard ranked the group as one of the greatest musical trios of all time. Spice Girls. Spice Girls formed in 1994 and released their album Wannabe in 1996. Sold more than 85 million records worldwide and the best-selling female group of all time. Eminem, the best-selling artist of the 2000s in the U.S., 47.4 million albums sold in the U.S. and 220 million records globally. One of the world's greatest best-selling artists of all time, greatest and most influential artist in any genre. He has a total of 15 Grammys. Beyoncé rose to fame in the late 1990s as the lead singer of Destiny's Child. Her debut album of Dangerously in Love in 2003 sold more than 100 million records worldwide, making her one of the world's best-selling music artists, and won 22 Grammys Awards.
The 2000s TV shows were mainly about teenage lives. An example of a TV show in the 2000s was That's So Raven, created in 2003. It's about a teenage girl named Raven Baxter that can see the future. She has two best friends, Eddie and Chelsea, that follow her visions. They have random adventures that they eventually get away from. In the TV show, Raven faces good and bad obstacles that affect her teenage life. Another TV show is Drake and Josh, created in 2004. Two teenage stepbrothers are often involved in comedy misadventures, face their teenage situations. They deal with their younger sister Megan, who's always making their lives miserable also. Both boys have different personalities. One acts like he's popular and the other one like a nerd, but end up loving each other as brothers. One of the movies created in the 2000s was The Fast and Furious, made in 2001. Dominic Toretto enjoys street racing and fans treat him as a rock star. He's also the leader of the hijackers. He eventually meets Brian, who is an undercover cop that considers him as a close friend. At the end, they decide to become street racing families. Last but not least, Mean Girls is another movie created in the 2000s. A teenage girl named Katie Heron was educated in Africa by her scientist parents. She finally moves to Illinois and gets to experience a public school. At first, she doesn't blend in and decides to become a popular girl to get attention from others and her crush. She eventually becomes a cruel girl, and nothing will get in her way in becoming the coolest person in high school.
People are so jealous of me, but I can't help it that I'm popular.
The 2000s is the most controversial decade where fashion was either seen as the worst fashion or the best. Starting off with Paris Hilton, the most iconic fashion trend that she started was the juicy tracksuits, worn in bright colors. She would also wear trucker hats and bedazzled clothing. Not to mention, she was the introduction of dressing like a bedazzled princess. I mean, who wouldn't want to have the fashion taste of Paris Hilton during the 2000s? Another fashion icon was Ashley Tisdale. She introduced another form of girly teenage fashion. She would wear bright outfits that included low-rise jeans, dresses and skirts over jeans, and crazy accessories. Ashley Tisdale was mostly recognized because of her Sharpay from High School Musical that came out in 2006. We can obviously tell that Ashley's fashion did follow Sharpay throughout High School Musical. Taking another turn in fashion industry during the 2000s, there was the emo style, highly influenced by Marilyn Manson, who was a metal rock song producer. The different style of music opened a whole new style of fashion, with studded belts, black eyeshadow under the eyes, and dark clothing. Flared-up pants and Heelys might still have been something you worn during your elementary school years. Heelys were fun and fashionable. Adding wheels to shoes was something new, with that attracted a lot of people, although the majority of them were kids.
The 2000s experienced a wildfire of internet spreading into their lives where the trends were shown on the internet for everyone to see. This decade was all about all technological advances.
Know that you're that one for me. It's clear for everyone to see. Ooh, baby.
Yeah.
You gotta rock away to this one. Come on.
See, I don't know about y'all, but